The whisper in the static. I bought an old radio receiver at a flea market. The seller, a thin old man with eyes covered in dust, silently took the money and turned away, as if I had bought not a radio, but his own sin. The receiver worked perfectly. It caught all the waves. But there was one strange feature. Every night at 3:04 a.m., the radio automatically switched to a frequency with only a dead silence. Not the silence of the airwaves, but something thick, heavy, saturated. And through it, a whisper broke through. It wasn't a language I could recognize. Rather, it was a set of sounds that resembled the creaking of dry wood, the rustling of paper, and a barely audible breath. I blamed it on interference, on old vacuum tubes that were past their time. But with each day, the whisper became clearer, and it started responding to my thoughts. I sat there, thinking about the tiredness from work, and the whisper in the static breathed out, "Sleep." I remembered my childhood, and it added, "Hurts." The horror wasn't immediate. It crept like frost on the skin. This thing didn't just hear me, it read me. It squeezed out my deepest thoughts and returned them to me in a distorted, alien form. I stopped turning on the radio, but at 3:04 a.m., it began to heat up by itself. The warm smell of old wood and glowing tubes filled the room, and the same whisper flowed from the speaker. I pulled the cord out of the socket. The next night, the radio started working on batteries that, according to the technical specifications, it never had. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. When the whisper began, I roared, "Be quiet! What do you want?" The whisper stopped. In the silence, which became even louder, a barely noticeable click was heard. Then my own voice came from the speaker. The voice from my childhood, when I cried because I wasn't picked for the football team again. The voice with which I whispered to my ex that I loved her. The voice with which I complained to my friend about my parents. It had collected all my most sincere, most painful, and weakest moments and started playing them back. It wasn't a recorded tape. It was something pulled out of me, my essence turned into sound. Now I don't turn it off. I sit and listen, because when it plays my past, the whisper quiets down. And when silence comes, I hear something starting to whisper inside my own head, and I start to understand the words.
We hope this story helped you practice your English. Did you notice the useful vocabulary, such as flea market, static, and vacuum tubes? We also used past tense verbs to describe the main events of the story. Your turn. If this radio could read your mind, what do you think would be the first word it would whisper? Leave us your answer in a comment using the English you learned today. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next A2B1 English stories. See you next time.